Welcome back to viewers. Today in this video I'm going to teach you about data types in Python. So before I demonstrate practical, let's understand a little bit of theory data types in Python, because theory is a foundation to understand concepts. In the end of this video you will be able to describe the different data types in Python. What are data types in Python? So a data type is an attribute associated with a piece of data that tells a computer system how to interpret its value. Knowing what data types to use ensure that data is collected in the perfect format. It also ensures that the value of each property is unexpected. Python offers raw data types to allow data to be assigned to variables or constants. The five main types, which are classed as literal, consist of numeric, sequence, dictionary, boolean, and search. Some of these data types can be extended, and don't worry about these data types. I will be demonstrate them one by one, each data types in this video. So for example, the numeric data types. Numeric data type can consist of types integer, float, and even complex number. For now, let's just discuss data types in more detail. Starting with numeric. In programming, you need to decide on what type will suit your needs. For example, when working with currency, you are mostly going to use the numeric type of floats, as it allows decimal places to be counted. To determine a type of variable, Python also provides a function names type. These are predefined functions in Python, which will provide the class type based on the variable being passed. Python offers three different kinds of numeric types, which are integer, float, and complex numbers. The integer class represents any non-fractional that is whole number with no decimal places. These numbers can be positive or negative. For example, 1 or -1. Float are numbers that contain decimal places and are represented by the float class. Example, 20.56 or 3.9. The complex class is used to represent complex numbers, which are made up of both real and imaginary numbers. Equals 10 plus 10j. This is a complex number example, because complex number j is an imaginary number. Okay, if you are read about the imaginary and complex number, you understand what I am saying to you. Okay, so next let's explore the sequence data types. So sequence types of clusters container type that contain one or more of the same types in an ordered list. They can also be accessed based on the index in the sequence. Python has three different sequence types, namely strings, lists, and tuples. Let's explore each of these briefly. Now starting with strings. A string is a sequence of characters that is enclosed in either a single or double quotes. Strings are represented by the strings class, or str for short. Lists are a sequence of one or more different of similar data types. They are essentially an array and hold any type inside sequence brackets. Each item can be accessed by its index. Tuples are similar to lists in many ways. They contain an ordered sequence of one or more types, but the main difference is that they are immutable. Immutable means they cannot change. In simple terms, this means that the value inside the tuples cannot be modified or changed. Tuples are represented by the tuple class and hold data types wrapped in parentheses. The next data type is dictionary. Dictionaries store data in a key value object structure. Each value can access it directly by its key. Dictionaries can also store any data type. For example, suppose you declare a variable named dictionary example and assign a dictionary to it. The dictionary contains a group of key value pairs. The first pair is A and 10, where A is a key and 10 is a value. The second pair is B, where B is a key and 20 is a value. You can then output the value of 10 by accessing its key, which is a next its explore boolean data types, which are simply represented as a true or false. So combine the logical operators. Boolean are used to check whether a condition is true or false. In this example, I am checking the underlying data type of value true and false. The class bool is returned, meaning it's boolean. The last type is set, which has an unordered and non-indexed collections of non-represented value. Let me demonstrate an example of this data type. Suppose I assign a set of 4 items to variable named example set, example underscore set. So I then check the type of the value stored in the example underscore set variable by passing it to the type function. Python reports that the underlying data types that the example set variables hold is a set. In programming, data types an important concept. Variable can store data of different types, and different types of data can do different things. Let's explore this in further detail. Whenever you declare a variable in Python, the data type assigned for you based on the value of the variable. Let me demonstrate this by typing a variable called a and assign it to a value 10. Let's check the data type that has been assigned by Python. I selected print and use the type function. I then pass in the value a as the parameter and click on run. For the output on the terminal, I can see a class or float was assigned because there was a decimal place. Here is another example. I am using to variable b and I assign it a decimal value of 2.3. We can tag whatever value, but for convey to you, I tag here 2.3. To check the data type assigned by Python, I print out the type B and click on run. From the output on the terminal, I can see a class of floats was assigned because there was a decimal place. This is a different assignments than the standard integer. These are the numeric data types offered in Python. To declare a variable as a string, I wrapped a text with single or double quotes. Again, I run the print statement to the function type and pass the variable c as the parameter. When I click on run, the outputs and the terminal now display the class int, float, and str for string, short for str for string. This sequence is also applicable for other data types. For example, I can create a list of numbers by using the variable d and assign it the number 1, 2, 3, and 4. When I run the print statement with a function type and pass the variable d as the parameter, the class list displays after I click run. Each time I assign a value to a particular variable, Python behind the scenes is automatically assign the correct data types of the data variable. So this is for today's video. Thank you for watching.